Hello, I'm Mark, Roof Life of Oregon. As a roof consultant for maintenance, I lean my ladder against the roof, and that's the first thing I look at. How many layers does this roof have? And I lift up the first layer if there's only one layer, and I can see the plywood, and I know that the homeowner or that roof installer at least cared enough to only put one layer on there. When I see multiple layers, you think, wow, what am I going to find? Automatically my mind clicks to there's going to be details that are missed. That's my opinion. That's what I see. I see hundreds of roofs all the time, and it's just a characteristic of that train of thought. So let's look at multiple layers. I can tell you I had a neighbor, or I have a neighbor, that put his new roof on over his existing roof. I watched it went on super fast. The details of the flashings, the kick-out flashings, other things, they were just kind of missed or mused over. The whole work was abbreviated, shortcuts. When I see multiple layers, I think of how much more weight the roof is going to sustain. I think of how much more heat it's going to create, or at least encompass, because the first layer next to the roof heats up as well as the second layer, and it just maintains. It's like having a heating unit on your on your leg. It's like a heating blanket. I found a couple of roofs this past week. Both of them were multiple layers. Both of them grew moss like you wouldn't believe. The second layer, when it does have the extra heating element to it, meaning that there's it just absorbs more heat, it doesn't last as long. That second layer is a hindrance when it comes to putting a roof on. It doesn't last as long. It's more weight, it's more heat. Why would you do it? Let's even look at a leak. Discovering a leak is more difficult. It's arduous. It could be leaking. Of course, a leak could create on a single ply roof, but it's easier to find. On a multiple layer, who knows? It could be sandwiched in between the two layers and leaking far to the left when it's manifesting right in front of you, and it's just traveling long distances. It's really an arduous task to find a leak on multiple layers. Usually we just flunk it and move on if you just can't find it. It's usually multiple places that you find that's leaking. Multiple layers are less expensive in the beginning, but they do cost more in the end.